Warning: The Noob and Fr00b show is rated NC-17 for adult language, adult content, strong sexual references, and psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. Opinions expressed on the Noob and Fr00b show does not reflect those of Jagex Ltd. RuneScape.com is a trademark of Jagex Ltd. and is not affiliated with the Noob and Fr00b show.
I hid the body in the river. Oh, hi! I didn't see you there. Welcome to the Noob and Fr00b show. I'm Matt, aka Matthew, and so this is the Noob and Fr00b show.
Mm-hmm.
As usual, I am joined by the wonderful, the amazing That Bear, aka Satya.
Hello, everyone. I love you. Mwah.
Anyway, never mind what you heard at the beginning there. So let's just tell everyone how they can get in touch with us.
Yes.
If you would like to get in touch with us during the show, there are many ways you can do so. The most direct way, the most instant way, is to leave a comment here on the video so that you will see it instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Just do that if you're watching. Just put it in the comment box there. You can tweet her. You can tweet her at ThatBearRS. You can leave a comment or send a message to ThatBearRS on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in the clan chat, which I hope you are if you're a clan member, and you're listening to us, be sure to let me know any questions you might have. I will be monitoring the chat during the show. So yes, and if you are a guest, you can absolutely join the guest clan channel and ask a question that way too. And then finally, if you are listening via AEM radio, leave a comment there, and we'll get back to you ASAP.
Yes, thank you. So let's get into the news. That's why we're all here. Let's start off with the podcast called The Road to Elf City. In the latest podcast, Matt He chats with Mod Osborne, Mod Raleigh, Mod Raven, and Mod Timbo about the greatest city of elves, Prifidinus, and the amazing quest that takes you there. The mods discuss everything from the upcoming design document release to the clans inside the city, and much more. The quest will be released roughly in August. Now, we know with Jagex this can change to a later date, but they are saying August as of now. The full city itself will be released in September. This includes the Tower of Voices, the Grand Exchange location, and the Lodestone. Now, as we know, there are 8 clans within the Elven City, and they will all have a skill focus. Now, the first families to be released in late part of September are going to be the family Lorwith, and they will represent Slayer and Melee, so there'll be some exciting ways to train these 2 skills with that family. I'm probably going to butcher these names, but whatever. Trawhern will be mining and smithing, Cruis would be woodcutting and farming, and Kadarn, range and magic. Now, towards the end of October and November, the other 4 families will be introduced. We have the Heffen. They will be representing Agile and Prayer. Mod Raven states, think of them like Shalon monks. That's pretty interesting. We got the Amlants, which will represent Divination and Summoning. The Meleer will be Dungeoneering and Herblore, and Ifo will be Craft and Construction. And also towards the end of November will be, this is something I'm so excited for, ladies and gentlemen, the high-level Slayer Master.
Yay!
So this, of course, will be the Slayer Master that will be above Cyrodiil. She will assign more higher-level things. We may be able to see some bossing Slayers, so maybe some Tormented Demon task, Glasscore task, a lot more Erit task, and the high-level things. Not so much of like Fire Giants and Hellhounds and things like that we see with some of the lower Slayer Masters. So that was pretty exciting podcast. Check it out if you want to hear full details on any of this stuff. But again, it's looking like all the elf stuff will start sometime in August.
No, I just like to say one thing. Fuck you, Kaldar, you bitch. I am so relieved you are not my Slayer Master anymore.
Of course, in the news we have RuneScape Road Trip. We are currently going through the Slayer and Combat Weekend. This, of course, will end, I think, either reset tomorrow night or sometime Monday. Not quite sure. Here's a full list of the bonuses that are going on this weekend. Hopefully you're listening to the show, not watching it, and doing your Slayer. We, of course, have double Slayer points, and personally for me in preparation for this event, I made sure I was fairly close to my every 50th and 100th task, you get like 150 Slayer points. So I made sure I was fairly close to that. So instead of the 150, I did get 300 and was able to finish off my Slayer helm. But yeah, you get 50% base Slayer XP, which is not times 2. It is your regular XP, half that, and then add that, and that's what you get. And it does work with your bonus XP from pendants and things that you've put on the skill. So some hefty XP going on here. They've expanded
Hey.
drop tables for the Calfat King, Virago, Giant Mole, and Barrow's Rise of the Six. That's the only bosses involved with the expanded drop tables. You do have a chance of getting double drops, double Drygors, double Seismics. I don't know of anybody that's personally got any of this yet, but it is possible. All charm drops offer an extra charm. This is not every charm. This seems to be quite random. Some kills I get 1 charm, some kills I get 2. Double amounts of rare drops. And the Ring of Wealth doubles in effectiveness. This has been trolling me all day long today. I've been getting really bad Ring of Wealth drops. I keep getting big bones, like 300 of them a time, so I'm being trolled heavily. So go ahead, gear up, get some Slayer XP, go do some group bossing, enjoy it. So I've got maybe 1.5 mil XP so far this weekend, so.
I have
It's been good
absolutely
to me.
wasted the opportunity that has been given to me.
Yeah. I was very excited about this weekend. I'm kind of excited about the last weekend of the month too, but we won't get into that.
Engineering! Sorry.
Okay, so there's some social media challenges. Now, as we know, we explained last weekend what the road trip was. It's kind of goofy. And apparently, if you have any of the JMods added on Twitter, Facebook, anything like that, they're doing special events where a JMod goes into the game and they can stamp off a challenge that you don't want to do. You, of course, have to set this to your active task and things like that. If you've already done a task for the day, you can still get the JMod stamp and pass it. So just, look out for them on Twitter. I know Modley is doing a lot during like Eastern Standard Time because he's here in the States, so he's doing a lot more in the afternoon for us. The other JMods, of course, are doing during the day because they're in the United Kingdom.
Yes.
They've also got a special challenge for you that's going to run until the 11th. Follow RuneScape on Twitter, and of course that's at RuneScape. Tweet us using the hashtag RuneScape Road Trip, your favorite RuneScape memory. Take a screenshot of doing something awesome in game for the special pin interest board. Like them on Facebook, that old crap. Share your favorite post on there. When you've done each one, take a screenshot and save it to your scrapbook, folder on your computer, and show us at the end of May. We'll ask you to do the same for each of the challenges. So pretty much what they want you to do is take a screenshot after every challenge you complete, or some crazy screenshots, and send it to them for a competition.
What is this? The RuneScape version of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants?
Seems like it. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, but if you're into all that, have at it. Can anyone guess what else kind of update we've had? Anybody? Go ahead.
I know.
Wrong one. Here we go. What is it?
Big Titty Ho treasure box.
Yes, we have a treasure hunter update. This is portable skill stations, and we're going to take a moment to discuss this after, of course, I tell you what it is. This weekend, Treasure Hunter has 4 portable skill stations up for grabs. Portable skill stations come in 4 variants: the portable forge, range, well, and sawmill. They can be placed anywhere you can light a fire, and they're visible and usable by players in the area, so you can share it with your friends. The portable forge, of course, doubles up as a furnace and an anvil, so it can be used for both smelting and smithing. It gives you a 5% chance of creating double bars when smelting and 10% extra smithing XP. Also, when smithing, the portable forge has a chance to reduce the number of bars used. On average, you'll use about 10% fewer bars. Feeling hungry? Well, the portable range gives you 21% extra cooking experience and a 5% chance of producing double the cooked food. The portable well is only available to members and acts as a herblore station. Use this to get vials of water, which give a 10% herblore XP increase when finishing potions, plus a 5% increased chance of creating 2 potions instead of 1. Another members-only skill station is the sawmill. Allows you to convert logs into plank at a 10% lower gold coin cost. Let me repeat that. 10% lower gold coin cost. So that means it will cost money to make planks with the portable sawmill. So don't be surprised if money starts coming out of your coin pouch. All of the portable skill stations last for about 5 minutes to make the most of your skilling time. Win your portable skill station by opening treasure hunter chests between Friday the 2nd of May until Tuesday. All players get 1 key per day, blah, 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 blah. So here's the problem I have. Not granted, it's another microtransaction. Of course, we hate them here. Here's the problem I have with this. These portable skill stations were one of the things that was coming from the inventor's skill. We were going to be able to make things like this to aid us in skilling at locations. Now, here they are placed on the freaking treasure hunter, School of Fortune, whatever you want to call it. Just put out there to be bought with real money, etc., etc. And another thing that troubles me, and not that I was extremely excited for the inventor's skill itself, because that, you work your ass off to get max, and here comes another skill. It's like inventor has been completely erased from Jagex's vocabulary. We don't hear anything about it anymore, and now we have these things that were a big part of inventor just openly displayed on the School of Fortune. So does that mean inventor is scrapped? The consensus seems to think that, inventor's gone, that they're just not going to do it. Now, we know they're focused on the Elf City because that's what we voted for, but you think they would still try to keep the idea of inventor fresh in our minds, but it doesn't look like it's happening that way. I don't know. It doesn't look good for inventor. Of course, there's better options than Inventor. Most of Inventor, of course, is production skills all smushed together with divination. A lot of these ideas could be placed into the skills that we already have and refreshing them. We could, of course, upgrade our armor using the smithing and crafting skill, combine our weapons using smithing and crafting, making these portable skill locations using construction, etc., etc. I think that's a better option than Inventor itself anyway, but yeah. So let's move on with the news. If you have any questions about any of this, tweet me. Anyway, RuneScape Companion, Bank Checker, and future updates. So if you're someone who spent the money to get the Bank Checker, you might want to kill yourself after this. No, don't. As some of you may have already noticed, we've updated RuneScape Companion web app with a new Bank Checker feature. This allows you to see what items you currently have stored in your bank and lets you check the current GE valuable tradable items and its recent GE history. Although this update is relatively small, and it's an important addition to the RuneScape Companion. So the new feature on the RuneScape Companion is you can pretty much price check your stuff, sell it, buy some more of it, whatever. The controversy around this is this giving people an unfair advantage? What's this going to do to the economy? Of course, it's going to have some complications, and it is going to make quite of a mess, especially these hardcore people who can now merch while they're at work and school. That'll be interesting, because there's people that do it, and that's what they're going to use it for.
It's like the fucking stock market.
Yes, it is like the stock market.
It's like the E-Trade app for your phone, but RuneScape.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, quick poll, Design a Pet finalist. I wanted to get involved with this. Of course, I'm too lazy for it. Earlier in the month, they launched a Design a Pet competition. It was pretty simple. Design some kind of follower that will be sold in Solomon's General Store. And they've narrowed it down to 6 pets, all which that you can be voting for right now as we speak if you head over to the main page. Here's your list. Number 1 is the crystal peacock. It's a beautiful crystal bird, proud of its plumage. Number 2 is the divine spirit. Of course, it's an armored sprite with a fondness for divination. We have the dungeoneer ram, which is a ram pretty much look like it's covered in dungeoneering stuff, because the helmets had little curly things like rams on them, so it made sense. Miko, the mecha bird, a dwarven mechanical bird. If you've seen Clash of the Titans, it kind of reminds me of Boo Boo.
Yes.
Putting on a plate, pudding that bounces after you. It's a little kawaii looking pudding thing. And lastly, which is also currently winning the poll, is the floating panda, a wise mini panda seated on a cloud.
Aww.
That's pretty cute. We have a Solomon's General Store update. Surprise, surprise. Bright Flame, Ancient, and Inari. 2 new pets. They work just like every other pet. And apparently there's also currently a sale 50% off the 8 other pets already that were released. So if you want any one of the Sky Pouncer, Blazehound, Dragon Wolf, Warborn, Behemoth, Prototype Colossus, Virago Shard, and Unicorns Dawn and Dusk, those are on sale half off. So get it while it's hot. Earlier in the week, we had our Master Skill Capes and Combat Improvements launch. Of course, the Master Skill Capes are for earning 120 in any skill, and that, of course, is 104,273,167 XP. They cost
That's a big
120
number.
GP. They look a lot like the 120 Dungeoneering Cape. They have the smoke, the same style. They look pretty nice. They do not have their own emote. They have the same stats as a trimmed cape. It's just something that's supposed to be an optional extra. So, they've not increased our total level or anything like that. So do not fret. I still don't like the idea of it. And as far as the combat improvements, a few of your favorites from the combat beta and recent polls have made their way live into game. These are pretty good, I think. The quick inventory slots on the action bar have been replaced with 2 additional action bar slots. The standard, of course, is the X and Z. 2 more places for things, much better. You can still use them as inventory slots by dragging something in your inventory to those slots, and they will work relatively the same, assuming you have the same kind of item throughout your inventory. The target info pane displayed above your targets is now a little bit more accurate, and the pane can be moved around freely on the screen. You can click the little lock when you're fighting something, and that will lock its health information on the screen so it doesn't go away when you're not hovering over it. Chat can be toggled to always on by clicking the new icon at the top of the chat channel interface. This means you don't have to press enter to type anymore if you don't want to. Another important one, combat XP is now rewarded for PvP combat. This is a little glitchy, but if you kill an opponent, you earn XP based on the damage you dealt. It is not based on their life points, anything like that. It is based on how much you hit. As long as you're in the top 16 of damage dealers to the player. So the person's being piled, not everyone's going to get XP for that person.
Right. The person who's doing the most damage.
Right. If you are killed, you earn XP based on the damage you've dealt up to 16 players as well. So if you die before he dies, you will still get the experience. Note that this is active immediately. This cannot be turned off. If you're a level 3 skiller, don't go around punching people. You might want to re-equip your bow now with no arrows because you could, mess up your combat level. So let's get into something I'm always excited about. It, of course, is the first of the month, the end of the month. This doesn't mean Aunt Flo is coming. This means it's behind the scenes for May. So, of course, we already know about the RuneScape road trip that we're doing currently, so I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to skip right to Ancient Combat. So, we're pretty much going to learn the secrets of the old masters with Ancient Combat. This update contains 15 new additions to combat, each with a Zerosian flavor. First up are 3 ultimate combat abilities as voted for you in the Power of the Player polls in February. These are tentacle-themed abilities for magic, melee, and ranged, and require level 75 in their retrospective skills. Activating these will hurt you a little, but will damage your opponents a lot, making them risky but deadly strategy in combat. Go ahead.
Did you say tentacle?
Yeah, apparently we voted for tentacles.
Kinky?
Something like that. Anyway, for players with level 91 Constitution, we're also throwing in the Ice Asylum. This is a group healing ability. This ultimate maps down a healing zone that regenerates the health of anyone who approaches it. So for you heal evokers, this might be pretty handy for you. The other updates are for those who have completed the Fate of the Gods quest. 4 new combat familiars, Blood, Shadow, Ice, and Smoke Nihil, each with a combat level 160, will be summonable at level 87. These by no means will be better than the Steel Titan, but they're still relatively good. You'll gather the ingredients from killing the Nihil creatures. These have unique passive combat buffs and pack quite the punch. Plus, in case you're unhappy with the Nihil ingredients, you will have to offer That doesn't even make sense. You'll be able to transmute them using divination. Okay? To give you more reasons to fight Nihil and Muspah, we're jazzing up their drop tables. Get lucky, and they may drop a dragon hosta, dragon throwing knives, dragon magic wards. If that's not incentive enough for both creatures, will be unlockable as Slayer targets for 50 points. I'm excited about the Slayer thing, but as far as the level 60 equipment, I could really care less. It's level 60 equipment. But anyway, there will be a new endurance high score table and accompanying title for the Muspah. And of course, the Muspah you fight during the quest. They look like some kind of weird worm that come out using various attack styles, range, magic, and melee. They pile you. It's a pretty good fight. They're pretty good XP. They're going to be Slayer tasks. That's cool. Ninja Dungeoneering. This is another one a lot of you Max players are looking for. Some of these are free to play. Most are members only. There's a new resource dungeon coming out, a new Slayer task, the ability to pay tokens to skip floors. This next one interests me a lot, a new chaotic weapon. And I've been speculating what the heck it could be. I'm thinking I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I think it could possibly be a wand. And that's scary, but that's not necessarily a good thing, because then it's level 80, most likely, unless they make a low level one. I don't know, but if they make a level 81, that's going to put a hurting on Virtus 1, which is pretty much the best drop from next. So
I want a chaotic morning star.
yeah, that's a good one. Some other options could be a chaotic two-handed sword, warhammer, mace, things like that. We're missing a lot of weapons in the level 80 tier, so it's. A wand, I don't think they would do it, but a lot of people have been asking for it, so I'm curious to see. There's going to be an upgrade to the gem bag. My speculation is to allow it to hold cut gems. That would be nice. New pets themed after Dungeoneering creatures, some more skill scrolls, an item collector. And this is another one I've been speculating about. What kind of item collector do we need? We have one for charms. We have one for herbs. We have bones. We now have one for seeds. So I'm trying to think of something that's dropped quite often enough that we're going to need a collector for it. And what I've came up with is some kind of coin collector that takes the coins, puts them automatically into your money pouch. So that would be my guess. And there's going to be a dozen of nips, tucks, and improvements for your day-to-day delving in the Daemonheim. Yeah. So we're all pretty excited about that. I've been hoarding up my tokens. Hopefully there'll be something good, but it could just be overhyped as usual. Another thing that they're coming out with is an Ashdale repeatable boss and Choose Your Path. This will be a boss that's pretty much going to be a daily, like Bork and the Phoenix, etc., etc. You'll get some hefty XP for completing it every day. Of course, you have to do the Ashdale quest to get there. Let's not even talk about Disneyland today.
No.
Not in the mood, like... It's gone. Elder Divination, delayed from April. This was supposed to come out mid-April. Now, should be the first update in May. So, Monday, Tuesday, maybe. They, of course, apologize for the inconvenience. And to make up for it, there will be an early bird bonus. Drop one of the new divination-oriented divine locations, and you'll get double divination XP. Energy and portents. So we know what the divine locations are, like the fishing bubble, like the box trap, and things like that. There's going to be one for divination. You're going to get portents. You're going to get energy. You're going to get some useful stuff from it. There's also going to be a new type of impling. Now, implings, of course, like ninja implings, magpie implings. There's going to be divine implings. Also, during this early bird bonus, there'll be more frequent. They're going to give you portents and energy as well. And of course, there's going to be some Solomon Store and Treasure Hunter shit to come out. Yay, yay, yay.
Blah.
Blah. So let's get into the weekly polls. Impling Boost. We plan to introduce an Impling collector who will reward you for collecting one of each Impling on Gielinor. When you have done so, he will offer a permanent boost to Impling catching. What should the boost be? There are three options: double drops, double XP.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know. I didn't vote on this, but I'm pretty sure double XP is winning, isn't it?
Yeah, double XP is winning. The thing about double drops is if you're catching a high level imp, most of the time you're going to put it in a jar and sell it. You're not going to open it and
No.
get what's inside. We just don't do that. We catch the M's for money. We don't gamble it.
Wait,
And a lot of the drops are not even worth it itself. So
you mean whenever I catch imps, I can eventually get more than just a ball of yarn?
you're catching the wrong type of imp.
Oh.
There's better imps
Oh.
that offer better things, but those better imps you want to put in a jar and just sell the jar of the imp.
Implings in the jarro. Oh.
Yes. Anyway, survey, upcoming updates information. How much information do you like to have about upcoming updates? Once you voted on your preferred option, feel free to join the discussion. So they're pretty much asking you, honestly, like, how much do you want us to tell you? A detailed schedule, general knowledge, update date info, a
Mm.
mix, or a mystery update. And of course, winning is a detailed schedule. That's
Yes.
also very important for the
Yes.
show because that's what we do. So we
I
don't want mystery updates. That's not what we
yes.
want here on the
I
show.
I absolutely voted on this, and I of course absolutely voted on detailed schedule. To me, this poll seems like one of those asinine polls. Of course, we want a detailed schedule. This seems like, oh, hey, oh, Nigel, we should put a poll up. What should we put? It's just like it's like a crapshoot poll. Of course, we want a detailed schedule.
Right. So
Ugh.
that's pretty much it for the news. But outside the news, of course, if you were playing RuneScape earlier today, you noticed the great United States
Mm,
server crash, which was apparently
yes.
caused during the time of a JMod Stampathon, and that's, of course, where you meet the JMods in-game. They stamp off your passport. All the U.S. servers went down for about 30 to 45 minutes. It was very frustrating. You couldn't log in or out
Yes.
if you were on one of those worlds. They did a rollback. The rollback was interesting because they went back a huge amount of time. Usually when they do a rollback, it's just a couple of minutes before the crash. But they went back pretty far. I lost a lot of Slayer XP. Of course, personally, I was at Armagod Wars doing an Avenzi's task. Was not happy when I logged on and realized I didn't even have
I,
good count.
I think was not happy is a gross understatement. Uh,
I was pretty mad, but in the end, I was happy. Of course, surely I would have died, you know.
yeah,
So I didn't lose any of
absolutely.
my stuff, so I'm happy about that. So I'm not going to complain. I was mad at the time because I had gotten a lot of XP and some decent drops, and
So you're not gonna go after a P. You're not gonna go after a P hat set.
no. A lot of people always during a crash. Oh my God, there's a corporal beast with my big hat set. Oh no, I died.
Oh
Give it
shit!
back, please.
Oh my god!
Oh my God. So yeah, that happened today. If you've been playing all
Yes.
weekend, you should notice there's quite a lot of lag spikes. Whatever kind of string of Java code they put in for these bonus XP weekends always seems to have some complications. And plus, more people are logging on as well, and it's really frustrating. As far as Slayer tasks, you'll notice most of the Slayer monsters that give the best XP are being camped. What I recommend is if you're going to do a Slayer task, and of course if you can skip or if you have tokens, do not do a Slayer task that has a corresponding Slayer mask from the Squill of Fortune. That's what I've noticed. Like Ice Strike Worms, anything with a mask, there's people there. So I've been doing things like Water Fiends a lot. Errats haven't been too busy as long as you don't go to Curadel's Cavern. If you go to the beach near Pictorius's Monk Fishing Guild, whatever, you can usually find a spot there. Hellhounds have been pretty packed, I've noticed. Ascension's pretty packed, so try to avoid those things, especially
Yeah,
at prime hours.
the trying to complete an ascension task from 2 weeks ago as a level 73 ranged person is a motherfucker
Yeah, I can
at this present
imagine.
time.
Blood Velds, if you're doing Blood Velds near the Blood Altar, they're not too bad. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of options with task available because there's so many people. Black Dragons are great because you can do the Queen Black Dragon, and that's, of course, instance, and you don't have to worry about anybody else. But it's been, the XP is great, but it's just stressful competing with so many players. And with that being said, does anybody know what time it is? Anybody know what time
Is
it
it
is?
is it tea time?
It's time for Matt's commercial break. Take it away, Matthew, while I get drunk.
I'm already drunk, or I've been drinking, so I'm not going to try to pull something out of my ass today. I'm just going to say to you guys, hello, my name is Matthew, and I'm on this show, and I'm part of the Barbarians clan. So, we really like people and people like us, and that's why they join our clan, and they think it's cool and stuff. And you can get tons of bonus XP from the Citadel, and we're fun and we're nice and we help you, unlike those damned Max clans who want you to be all that in a bag of potato chips. So just join our clan today. Join our cause. Join our. Okay, I'm getting wait. I'll calm down. Join today, please. We will help you. We will help you. We will accept you and help you no matter what level you are. We are not a requirement clan. We're probably one of the most laid-back clans on RuneScape, and we have a lot of fun. So join today, Barbarians. Barbarians in the clan chat, and yeah, just meet one of us and join. We also have raid call, so you can chat with us on there.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just couldn't muster a creative thing.
We're like depressing drunks tonight. Okay, so we didn't get to the patch notes in the first half, so let's go ahead and get to that. Hopefully.
Absolutely. And I have been asked a question in the clan chat by Pokemart. Matt, my penis is very big. How big is your penis? Big enough to do the job. That's all I will say. Anyway. All right. Let's get into the patch notes. Graphical.
Oh, Pokemart.
No Pokemart. Graphical. The Penance Trident and Penance Master Trident now use correct animations. I did not realize there was a trident on RuneScape.
It's from Barbarian Assault.
Okay. Sheathed weapons, shields, and certain capes no longer bounce off of the player's back when worn with the Pathfinder jacket. Skills, D&Ds, and minigames. Some animations in Heist have been updated to be more clear to portray what the player is doing because we want to keep updating a minigame that is already dead. The points gained pop-up message when finishing a game of Cabbage Face Punch Bonanza has been removed as it overlaps the scoreboard interface, another game that we dead within a week. Quests, challenges, and achievements. The Shadow Ladder north of Ardoon has been fixed for those with the ability to see more of the Shadow Realm. Druidic Ritual has been added to the requirements for one small favor.
Oh.
Yes. Other. The Dungeoneering Master Cape now drops 110k coins when dropped in PvP situations. So you'll get a bit of stoof to sweeten the deal whenever you wait, I'm confused. So does that I'm the one reading the damn shit. Okay, the Dungeoneering Master Cape now drops 110k coins when dropped in PvP situations. Does that mean that instead of the Dungeoneering Master Cape, it will now drop 110k coins, or it'll drop 110k coins additionally?
Okay. Skill capes. Okay, skill capes, and when you kill somebody with a skill cape on, you don't get the skill cape because you might not be able to wear it. What you would get was the base price the person paid for the skill cape. Now we know 99 capes are worth 99k. That's the amount of coins that were dropped with the 120 Dungeoneering cape previously. You kill somebody with the Dungeoneering cape, you got 99k. That's obviously not what they paid for the 120 cape.
No.
You're getting 110k, which it should be 120k, but that was the problem, is dropping the wrong amount of coins.
Okay, for a second there I was like, wait, I can go out and kill somebody who's newbie but has Master Dungeoneering, and I can get a Master Dungeoneering cape and wear it? Oh my god!
No.
Okay. The bird and the beast score interface has been removed from several tiles in Drygore because that's how long it takes for Jax to completely remove a world event that started half a year ago.
Mm.
An issue that was causing shield bow weapon overrides to not work has been corrected. The emotes interface now updates correctly when a player unlocks certain emotes. The profanity filter no longer. Oh my god. The profanity filter no longer incorrectly displays as being on when logging in after turning off. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That
That's good.
has been a thorn in my side for years. As in, since I started playing the fucking game again. Combat fixes. Wrath and Retribution players have been updated to deal more damage in line with the evolution of combat. The hybrid minigame and Castle Wars armors now give the correct damage bonus in the relevant minigames.
Mm-hmm.
Brawling gloves can now be acquired from a variety of monsters. Revenant creatures have been corrected to be slightly stronger. And finally, an engine fix. Several changes have been made to support some new features for the RuneScape companion. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your Pat's Notes, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Before we carry on with the discussion part of the show, I do have a question from Twitter, probably inspired by Pokemart's question. And I'm not sure why I'm going to answer it, but I will answer it. The
I have a
question,
feeling what it is.
I don't know. The question is, that bear, you're a girl, right? Yeah. Can you answer this for me? This is something I've been pondering about for a long time, and you seem like a kind of smart person. Thanks. Here's my question. Does size really matter? I'm assuming you're talking about the size of a dragon dagger.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
this is a RuneScape show, not
Right.
a Six Help show. So does the size of a dragon dagger really matter?
Well,
And
I mean,
here's...
it depends on the, size of the thing you are stabbing the dragon dagger into.
Right.
You know.
What I'll say is, you don't want a dragon dagger that's too big. Because
No.
if it's too big, it's just gonna be awkward, and it's gonna be like overly bloody and nasty and
Absolutely.
disgusting. And you don't want a dragon dagger that's way too small, because you're just gonna like give them paper cuts. So you want a dragon dagger that's just right, and the perfect size, in my opinion, for a dragon dagger. I feel so retarded. The perfect size of a dragon dagger,
Yes.
based on the average size of a wound that you want to insert your dragon dagger into.
Yes.
I think between 5 to 7 is a good size for a dragon dagger. Anything bigger than that can become uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Anything smaller than that is pointless, and that was really awkward.
That was extremely awkward.
Yeah.
We're talking about RuneScape, people. Jesus Christ.
But thank you for the question. Hopefully we all have some insight now on dragon.
We've all been educated about dragon daggers.
Yeah. Okay, discussion. Okay, so I saw a forum today while I was digging around trying to find some news, and it interests me. It's not the forum post of the week, because I don't necessarily agree with the guy, but this is another RuneScape conspiracy theorist type person. So his idea is that, okay, first off, we know the Evolution of Combat was released, of course, in 2012.
Yes.
Almost 2 years ago. Now, a couple months before that, in about February, sometime around there, we got our first taste of real microtransactions on RuneScape, and of course that was with the Squill of Fortune, and eventually later on Solomon's Store. So he's connected the EOC to the School of Fortune and the microtransactions, stating that Jagex had a really good feeling that EOC was going to cause a huge money loss. And so they implemented the microtransactions ahead of time the same year to buffer the financial loss that EOC was going to create.
That makes sense to me.
It does make a lot of sense, and there's a lot of people I mean, this forum is getting a lot of speed behind it, a lot of people behind it, and a lot of people are really convinced that Jagex knew EOC was going to fail, and they created this buffer. And I just very quickly, for everyone who now is like nodding their head agreeing with the guy, and you can find this, of course, in the treasure hunter specific forum. It's always on the top page. It's being bumped constantly. So I'm going to debunk that and explain why that's actually not true, and it is a coincidence. And he starts off his whole forum post with the saying that nothing in life is a coincidence, ironically. In the year 2010, we all know this. If you've done any research about the business aspect of Jagex, we know that in about 2010, that's when Insight Ventures got 55.3% of Jagex, which is the majority share. We know the Reigns Group, which is also an investment group, invested a lot in Jagex at this time, 2010. So if we know anything about Insight Ventures Partner, we know that they were involved with Nexon. If you don't know who Nexon is, think of MapleStory, Combat Arms, games like that. Both of these games have heavy microtransactions, especially MapleStory. MapleStory got their microtransactions in about 2007, 2008.
I don't like Nexon.
Well, nobody does, but I'm just saying, Insight Ventures Partners, two guys from Insight Ventures Partners are on the board of Nexon, and they're also now on Jagex's board of directors as of 2010. So if you look and see what they did with Nexon, you pretty much knew the day that Jagex announced these two guys, and I'm not going to name, were put on the board of directors with Insight Ventures with a sharing, with the majority sharehold in the company. We knew. Those of us who know anything knew that microtransactions were inevitable. And there is proof that I knew this beforehand, because I asked Jagex on a Facebook post about microtransactions and about, well, I called it J-coins, but it's now whatever it is. Anyway, I asked them about J-coins being sold in stores, kind of like the memberships. Of course, they wouldn't answer my questions, and this was, of course, pre-School of Fortune, pre-everything. Yep. I knew as soon as the guys from Insight Ventures were on the board of directors, something was going to happen, and it did. Here's the bottom line. EOC or no EOC, there was going to be microtransactions. It is just purely a coincidence. And I'm sure Insight Ventures Partners, okay, somebody's asking me what exactly the fuck they do. That's a good question. Okay, Insight Ventures Partners, they give money to companies, and they give advice to companies. They give money, and they give advice. They try to help companies grow by giving them these two things. Okay, they invest a lot of money, and when you give somebody money, the person feels obligated to do what you want. Right? That's what happens. When you loan your friend money, they should become your slave, right? That's just how it works.
I mean, you did give me that GP one time, so I guess.
Yeah, you're pretty much a slave. So that's what these investment groups do. They give them money, they give them advice, they want to help companies financially grow. All right, back on track. I hope that explained your question. So back on track here. Okay, 2010. Two guys from Insight Ventures Partners, EOC or no EOC, there would be microtransactions. I can guarantee that Insight Ventures Partners also said that the combat was lame and needs to be a little more interactive to compete with the current MMOs. Microtransactions was not a buffer from the EOC. Was the EOC a good idea? In theory, yes.
Yeah.
It is a good idea, but the problem is the customer base is so limited. It's not a good idea for the current customer base.
It was also, it's a good idea, but it was handled improperly, in my opinion.
Right. They were in a hurry.
Yeah.
They have a time limit.
They're in a hurry and have a time limit because of the issue of the almighty dollar.
Now, this guy on Twitter is also correct. Jagex has stated that Insight Ventures does not control any of the updates. That is absolutely right. But like I said, they give advice. There is a difference between a demand and a suggestion. What Insight Ventures does is give a suggestion. Does Jagex feel obligated to go through with the suggestion because of the large amounts of money that Insight Ventures has given them? Of course they do.
Fuck yes.
Now, is investment groups a bad thing? Not necessarily. Companies can't grow without money. Where are they going to get it from? Investors and banks. And I'm just not happy that it was Insight Ventures that got the majority share.
Yeah.
The Reigns Group, I kind of wish would have bought that majority share, but they didn't. And there's no turning back at this point. ISVP's shares probably going to get bigger until they sell it off. Now, they're notorious for getting a company up there, and I'm trying to think of how to put this in not business terms, because I know some of our viewers are young. Eventually, they will sell it off when the company's worth quite a bit, and they've sold Nexon off, and they've sold this and that. Pretty much all Insight Ventures really cares for is Twitter right now. But that's just
So
hopefully
basically,
debunks that forum post.
to put it in a more simpler term, the Insight Ventures is like a contractor. They
Right.
go in, they build the house, they make the house better,
Mhm.
and then they GTFO.
They sell the house for more than they paid, yeah.
Yes.
That can be good, that can be bad. We don't know, who's gonna. We know that Jagex can't afford to buy their share back, and that's unfortunate, but it's the truth. It's never going to be the Gowers. The Gowers are gone. It's never going to be Jagex owning 100%. They're always going to have that little guy in the back of their head giving them suggestions.
Baby, come back. That was directed at the Gowers, but I know that's not going to happen. Mr. Gower is doing amazing things still. So yeah.
So I just wanted to debunk that forum post because there is a lot of people behind it, and it is completely a coincidence that it's the same year. I'm sure they had a time frame, but the microtransactions honestly have nothing to do with EOC.
Yeah,
We would have seen the microtransactions if there was never an EOC. It's just inevitable because of who pretty much owns Jagex.
And to give you a description of the suggestions that Insight Ventures gives to Jagex. Hi, Jagex. We have a suggestion for you. We're in this boardroom meeting right now with you. We have a suggestion, and underneath them while they're talking is a suitcase full of money. That's about how it works.
I mean, they're not doing it to be mean to us. They're not doing it to be dirty. They're doing it because microtransactions sell. There is a demand for this stuff. If there was no demand, there wouldn't be any. So when we're pointing the fingers, and as annoyed as I get with the whole shit, we really need to be pointing the fingers at each other.
Yeah.
If we stopped buying it, it would go away. But the thing is, people are buying it.
Right. To put it in very simple terms for people, we're the players. When it comes to the level where you're involving Mark Gerhard and Insight Ventures, it's not personal, it's business.
Mm-hmm.
Money is being exchanged. They are adults. They have careers. They are doing the things that they need to do. So what Satya is trying to say is, they're doing their thing. We're the ones who are giving them the initiative to cause this to happen.
Right.
So
the whole spirit of the game doesn't matter to them. They are businessmen. That is what they do. They make money, and they're making a lot of money with these microtransactions.
Yep. Taking advantage of kids that are like 12 and 13, but that's besides the point.
Right. I can't stand that, especially now that the game is getting a little bit more Disney with the graphics.
It's like they're like, oh, we've recognized our player base, and now we're going to take advantage of it even more. I'll stop. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we could go into a whole thing about judging their business ethics, and I would love to get into that because I think their business ethics are terrible now.
How about we make that the discussion for next week's show?
Sounds like a good idea. And we have to get to the Reddits because if we don't, people will die. So let's do it.
Because everyone knows at some point I will ask a Reddit question and Satya will get pissed.
Yes, thank you.
All right, let's start off right now.
Okay.
What's going on with the game engine? Recently, I've been having problems running the game. I have had hard drive issues, but that's been fixed now. I used to be able to run the game with every single setting maxed out and get at least a solid 30 to 35 FPS, but now I can barely run the game on minimum settings with anything above 20 FPS. I don't know what's changed as to me running diagnostics. It's definitely not that. Lumbridge and the Grand Exchange in particular are hard to run, and Cabbage Face Punch is also almost unplayable. My specs are Intel E8500 at Kingston RAM 4 gigabytes, a Sapphire ATI HD 4850, 1 terabyte Seagate HDD with about 800 gigabytes of free space.
Okay, so it's not, he doesn't have terrible specs. Of course, I don't feel like he has the specs to be running HD.
No.
Some things that I recommend doing is, of course, lowering your settings. If you go into the custom, you'll notice a CPU usage box, drop-down box. To get the best out of your RuneScape, make sure that's above normal to even maximum. Of course, this is going to slow down anything else you do on your computer, but if RuneScape's your main focus, change the usage to that. Also, open up your task manager by right-clicking your taskbar at the bottom. Start your task manager. Find RuneScape on your list of running processes. Right-click it. You'll see set priority. Also change that to high in real time. This, of course, is going to suck up the memory and the CPU, so don't be trying to multitask. But that should help you for a while. Try clearing out your cache again. Of course, you said you got a new hard drive, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Play on the client for sure. There's a new version of Java that came out a few days ago. Make sure you got that up and installed, and hopefully that helps you with your problem. If it doesn't, contact me and I'll be happy to help you with any kind of technical problems you have, but the CPU usage kind of sounds like that might be your problem.
Yeah, and again, I'm pretty sure the Sapphire is a pretty good graphics card, but again, if
it's no Narita. It's
yeah.
Something that does a lot of these things for you is a program called the Game Booster, and you have to be very careful where you get it from, but Game Booster will do all this for you. It closes down running processes that you don't need. Always check on your running processes. If you got a lot of stuff running, that's going to conflict with the CPU usage of RuneScape, so check on that constantly. Make sure your internet connection's decent. Do a speed test and things like that, but to me it sounds like the CPU usage.
So to put it in layman's terms, you don't want to have a internet browser with a bunch of tabs open. You don't want to have like something that's full screen open running, like if you're running a video or a full screen game, you want to have that minimized and trying to run RuneScape. That will definitely
even some stuff that you can't visually see. A lot of times there's programs running in the background, and
that too.
That's why Game Booster is a good option, because if you're not really technical, you don't have a high technical aptitude, you could close out something in Task Manager that you need, and something's going to lock up and make things worse. Game Booster, of course, knows what to close out, and it'll do that for you. So I highly recommend that, and I'll try to find a link and put it down in the show and get it to you. But
as one that does not have very much technical aptitude, as you might be able to tell by what I've been saying, I'm going to go and download Game Booster after the end of the show. Yes. All right, on to the next Reddit. Help! Skill training or make money. Hello, this is my first post here. I subscribed after blah, blah, blah. So after completing some of the goals, most of them quests, I still need to train some skills to have certain levels. I can meet the requirements for more quests, but I'm kind of lost in how to train combat with bad armor for my level. And some other skills as well. Agility, where to train, thieving, where to train, farming, extremely slow, blah, blah, same kind of stuff that you would experience if you're a noob. You don't have much money, you have bad armor, he goes on, but anyway.
So he's pretty much, I'm not really sure what he's asking. What skills he wanted to train? Is he just want somebody to like tell him what to fucking do, like some kind of wizard?
Yeah. He says he has rune plate body, dragon plate legs, dragon boots, helm of Nizot. I don't even know if I said that correctly. Obsidian cape, amulet of glory, and a bandos god sword. So Just
It's not terrible. So he's wanting to upgrade his armor and train skills, so like agility. He's all over the place.
right. Well, he's asking is should he focus on training skills or making money right now?
I don't see why he can't do both. As
Right.
far as like agility, mage, things like that, do the circus every week. That'll get
Hmm.
those up slowly but surely. Agility's not going to make you a whole lot of money,
Right.
unfortunately. Woodcutting, a lot of the gathering skills, even that pesky farming, things like that, are going to get you money in the long run. Maybe a good week of it, he'll be able to afford Barrow's equipment. The cheapest set, I think, is still Torag's, which is a lot better than his rune.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, a god sword, that's a decent weapon. He could be killing flesh crawlers, druids, anything like that for money. Of course, mining's decent. Just save all
Yeah.
your stuff and sell it. I hate these newbie questions.
Yes.
I feel like they should be experiencing the game for themselves, trying different
Yeah.
things, and
Absolutely.
brings the fun of it to me.
In herblore, he says expensive. Construction, he says is expensive. Blah, blah. Don't worry about those kind of skills until you have money. Dungeoneering, no idea how to train solo efficiently. The thing about dungeoneering is like, unfortunately, if you're doing it solo, you are going to have to grind. You don't have people helping you. I would suggest trying to
What
find
I
tutors.
suggest, if dungeoneering is what he really wants to do, and
Yeah.
he doesn't want to solo, join a clan.
Right, that's what I'm
Really.
saying. Join a clan or find out what the a good dungeoneering friends chat, people who also are trying to dungeoneer.
Mhm.
Um, anyway, let me try to find a good question that will make Satya angry.
We got 4 minutes. It better be top of the line.
All right. Uh, fuck.
Silence. Silence on the show. We
Well,
can't be
actually, I
silent.
know I can't be silent on the show. I was making noises. I was going. Anyway,
I don't want to hear that.
anyway, I don't know if this will piss you off, but actually, I think you can relate to this question. If
Oh.
anything, a problem. If you have someone ignored, but your private chat is on public, they can still join your world, join the nearest lodestone to you, and trail you. If you have someone ignored, why should they be able to do that? How can I fix this? How can I make sure this person cannot see me or follow me, etc.?
That's I don't know if that's true because
Uh-huh.
people put me on ignore and you don't ever see them online anymore once they're on ignore. I don't know how legit that is. I might have to test that, but I'm fairly positive if you're on ignore, you can't see them come online.
Mm.
So what might be happening is they might have a friend that has you added as well and telling them, is this one of the guys that I troll on Twitch asking
It
this?
might. It very well might be. Yes.
Because that's what we do. We find people on Twitch and then we like go and freak them out and then they put me on ignore. But I can clearly, what I usually do is go and like guest in the clan chat that they're in, and I can see what world they're in, and I can obviously see where they are via Twitch. And
Yeah.
they're like, "Are you hacking me? Are you hacking me? How do you know where I am?"
Yes,
So
we are.
it's probably one of those people.
We're like Angelina Jolie, the movie Hackers. I know that reference just went over the majority of our listeners' heads, but anyway, okay. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Crater really needs to be no familiars like the GE. 10 minutes logged in and still can't see a single person because of the familiars lagging. I know Modslayer looks over this sub, so please, can you get it changed? By crater, I think he means the crater in Lumbridge.
What happened was Modley and some other mods were having a stampathon at the crater, and people brought their familiars. Let me tell you, if the familiars weren't there, it would still be laggy as heck. That's a lot of people on a short, small space. Literally, it doesn't matter what familiars are there or not. What they really need to do is these stampathons are a little ridiculous. Way
Okay.
too many people, way too laggy. The whole world starts lagging. This causes server crashes. So many people on one server at one time. They need a better method of this stamping thing, honestly.
Yes. Okay. I think I found a question that will at least make you somewhat upset. Has Jay said anything about possibly reverting the weapon poison system for this summer's combat updates? Back when we could poison, I really liked poisoned weapons. They were something that really helped me as a lower level, and I really liked the poisons. They gave me an advantage over players that were higher level, had higher stats, etc.
I'm honestly, you're not getting that much of an advantage from poison. It doesn't make me mad because
Oh.
poison was a good thing, especially in
uh,
PvP with your poison dagger. You know, they didn't bring their anti-poison. You spec them off. They get the poison splats at like 9 and whatever, and you knew if they were red barred, the poison would come in and it would finish them off, and it was going to be a good day. And that whole thing is now gone. And it doesn't make sense why it's gone. It has something to do with the combat mechanics. It just cannot be done, unfortunately. But I agree, they really should. Well, I know for a fact they are actually putting weapon poison back in the game.
oh.
So
Well,
this, of course, is on the combat beta right now. If you play the combat beta, you can go poison people. So that means it will be released probably with Legacy. I guess they got that worked out,
yes.
but yeah.
And that spells death for me because, as we know, I was killed by a bot with a poison dagger. No.
And it is the end of the show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank our partner, Awesomeness TV, everyone listening on AEM Radio, Gamer Girl Radio over at Blogcast, Jagex for not suing us, the Barbarians Clan. Tune in again next Saturday, same place, same time. I have been your co-host, That Bear Satya.
And I have been your co-host, the co-host of the mostest co-host, Matthew. Yeah, that's me. Goodbye.
Bye, love you. Mwah.
Bye.